Hello, my loves, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Soul, Superstar Soul, as you may know me. And if you're new here, then welcome, welcome, welcome. I got a download the other day and I was like, girl, you need to share with the world what the heck has been going through you and your life for the past very long time. I feel like I have had this huge urge to just receive my soul tribe, and it just hit me. In order to attract your soul tribe, you have to really just open up and be you, because you are your soul. And when you start attracting from the most authentic version that you are, then of course you're going to attract your most loving soul tribe. And my mind freaked out and said, oh my God, but what if people use my vulnerability against me and judge me and think that I'm weird or something? And then I thought to myself, well, if they are really my soul tribe, it will be so aligned, so comfortable, and so safe. And I will feel held, and you will feel held, and you will feel so good in my company, and the other way around, of course. So, as much as my ego, my mind didn't want to do this episode and just told me that this is too much, I think I'm gonna do it. And heck, let's just see where this brings us. So, if you're into spirituality, perhaps you've had a Kundalini awakening. I have had a Kundalini awakening myself, and I am currently going through a very spiritual path of embodying my highest self and aligning with my highest timelines, manifesting my complete dream life. And also sometimes having that feeling of, well, I'm here now, but what's the next step? Sometimes it's difficult to just notice and validate how far you've come. So this little corner, this podcast, I would love it to just be this community of all over the place chats sometimes, and sometimes very focused and knowledgeable, but just a corner where we can resonate and reflect with each other and validate how far we have actually come on our journeys. And I think I'm gonna just talk about my own journey, and hopefully you can relate a lot to it, or just a little bit, and extract what you need to hear in my conversation here with you. So yeah, welcome to Kundalini Talks with Soul. So today I really want to share a story. I don't know if it's gonna be long or short. We'll see about that. But I'm just gonna talk. Oh God, what the freaking heck? Now the clock is the exact angel number that I usually receive when I am on my soul path. Like when it's really, really aligned. What the heck? Alignment, here we come. Okay, so let's get into the episode. After recording this episode, I figured I think I want to divide it into two different episodes, just so that you have both parts to listen to, and so they don't get too long, and in my personal opinion, part 2 is very, very exciting too. So please stay with me, listen to part 1, and if it resonates, just have a look at part 2 as well. Yeah, happy listening, my dear. Love you. So, where I am now in my life is not where I was 1 year ago. I am currently living in Miami, and I have been living here for now 1.5 months. And I moved from Denmark to Miami after living in Denmark my whole entire life. And looking at everything from the outside, I feel like I kind of had everything besides community. I had money, I No, honestly, actually, that's the only thing I had. If you saw me from the outside, you would maybe think that I was so aligned and on purpose, which I probably was too, but I was just feeling so freaking unfulfilled, and it just felt like I didn't really have a direction with my life, and I knew exactly where I wanted to go, and I just couldn't stay in Denmark for much longer. I had this huge urge to just explore, and ever since I visited Miami when I was 18 years old, which is now 8 years ago, I I had this urge every summer to just go again and go for a whole month, and sometimes I just wanted to, sell everything I had and just move and just be here. But every time I had that urge, of course, I was just flooded with fear. And back then, I used to really seek validation within others, especially my family or a boyfriend or friends. And I usually opened up and told them, "Oh, I really want to go to Miami. I really want to move there, or just stay there for 6 months every year and then go back home to Denmark, to Copenhagen." And every time I open up about it, before I opened up, I had this huge clarification within that just told me, do it, do it, do it, do it. And yes, of course, sometimes it seemed like an escape from the life that I actually felt very miserable in, to be honest, because nothing was really just clicking. And when I then told people, not on my path, not with my dreams, then they would always tell me, "You can't do that. You're gonna lose everything. You'll lose everything that you have. You can't just take such risks. Oh, what about me? Are you gonna leave me alone here? Oh, but you have to stay with me." And usually those people who said that were people that I don't even speak to anymore. So yeah, it just goes to show that I always knew I was gonna get here to Miami. And you're probably thinking, "Well, girl, what are you doing in Miami?" And I'm gonna get to that. But so before moving, I have had a really, really intense awakening process, like a spiritual awakening. So I have been meditating for a long, long time, and about a year ago I started really digging deep because I was going through some stuff that just needed my attention and very long meditations. So I just started meditating for hours, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes 45 minutes, sometimes 1.5 hours, and sometimes 2 hours would go. And sometimes I meditated for a whole 3 hours in one day. And I think during one meditation, after hearing someone talking about speak to your soul, allow your soul to speak to you through movement in your body while you meditate. So I decided to do that, and a few meditations after that, my fingers and hands started moving within the meditation, and I started noticing that these movements got more and more intense, and sometimes my whole body would go into those yoga positions. And yeah, but I realized that I was actually having a Kundalini awakening, which has then propelled me to exactly where I am today. And that is why I have opened up for this podcast, this space, because I had no idea what was going on. Like, I was going through the Kundalini awakening, and if you're having one yourself, you probably know what I'm talking about. You have those spontaneous movements called kriyas, I think, and your whole body just moves, and it's actually just energy that has been pent up and locked within the bottom of your spine throughout your whole life that starts to open up and move. And the more energy that's being moved, the more you release and let go of the old version of you. And I don't know if you want to hear details about like what is a Kundalini awakening. I'm not really so known with it besides my own experience, but for me, a Kundalini awakening, it is an opening of your whole chakra system. So you have the root chakra, and then sacral chakra and solar plexus. Then we have the heart, we have the throat, and we have the third eye and the crown chakra. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we have 7 major chakras. I know that we have some other energy systems too, but never mind about those. But when this Kundalini energy awakens, either through trauma or an intense emotional experience, also known as trauma, or through very excessive meditation, where you get into those deep states where it's nothing but consciousness, which I think happened for me, it could most definitely also be something different. So if something else awakens you, let that be your awakening. So with my Kundalini awakening, I just noticed that with each clearing of energy and each meditation and the practice that I started having around this energy movement, it started becoming very intense. And sometimes I would have these wild revelations telling me, go, 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 go. Seek freedom, go to Miami, become a superstar. Because as a child, I used to sing in my karaoke machine, and I always created these funny movies with my friends, and like I was a performer back then, and I most definitely still am, and now I'm really embodying and becoming that performer. But as a child, I didn't have those limiting beliefs holding me back from it. And then when I became an adult and throughout my entire life, I think I just internalized the belief that nothing was really possible and that dreams were meant to just be dreams. Which is, it's just a very groundbreaking foundational belief to have. Like, it actually won't break the ground. So with this belief that dreams were just meant to be dreams, I just walked through my entire life trying to seek happiness and fulfillment and joy, and projects came to me, and I used to want to have this online business so that I could then support my sole purpose and dreams of dancing and doing my superstar things, which was a really good idea, but the universe wouldn't let that have success because the universe knew that there was something even greater for me. So none of my previous businesses really took off for me, and everything I tried that wasn't completely aligned, just, it had success for a while, for the while and time that it was supposed to have success, because I was meant to learn some things that I now know so I can express myself through this new soul-led business, or just actually just soul-led way of expressing myself with the world. It's not even a business, that's the thing. So with that, I learned so many things from my previous projects, but I never really, no, it didn't click for me. And I felt misaligned and sad and stressed, and yeah. Well, but enough of the sadness speak. Okay, so then I had my awakening, and fast forward to today. No, actually not today. Let's move to 6 months ago, I think. So around September 2024, I started feeling like life had to change. I didn't know how, and I felt like I was so much in my dancing era. I was in my superstar era and just working on my superstar dreams. And it just hit me one day. I was doing Kundalini yoga and I went into this pose that I think it's called mountain pose, which apparently activates all of your chakras and um, goes directly up to your crown chakra. And I started saying these affirmations within. I started saying freedom, 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 freedom. And it was like excessively saying freedom within my mind. And soon it just clicked, and my crown chakra just opened, and I had this huge knowing that I was going to leave everything behind. I was going to leave my apartment behind. I was going to move out of there, and I would move to Miami. As soon as I affirmed freedom within, my mind just showed me the word Miami. And I hadn't really been thinking of Miami for a very long time back then, so it was confusing. But I had that feeling that something wild was going to happen and I was going to go to Miami and my life would just change. So, fast forward, so much emotional processing and like one hell of a freaking roller coaster. And yeah, wow, what an intense journey, especially with the Kundalini energy still moving through me. It it had to, like, I had the realization of I needed to move to Miami, but I still hadn't really aligned energetically completely. So, of course, my whole system was just trying to adjust to the new energetic vibration, and it was actually very, very intense. And I remember like friendships just fell away, and every time I tried to, for example, go on a date, it just didn't work out, or they ghosted me. And I was seriously, I was just in this circle and loop cycle of dissolving everything that wasn't aligned with the version of me who lived here in Miami. And yeah, so actually, let's get back to the fear and doubt, because when I first had this revelation, I was very confused. And of course, my ego just wanted to go into this, yeah, cage. My ego wanted to go into a cage because it was so terrifying to think of like getting rid of everything from my old life, and also the old version of me, which has actually been probably the hardest part, because there are so many versions of yourself that you need to let go of in order to tap into this next level alignment and next level life. And the old you and the old reality, it just can't go with you. So I remember I used to really, as I told you earlier, I used to just tell people that I wanted to do things, but usually when I had told people about Miami, it went to shit, honestly. And it was just torn down, and I was just told that no, it's not possible. So this time around, I decided, okay, I'm not gonna speak to a single soul about this because I'm not meant to. And I also remember reaching out to someone I used to talk to about things if I needed help, and it also fell apart. Like my soul just made it not happen. And that's how the universe just works when you know within that something is aligned for you. So your soul will put you into situations where you have no freaking choice but to choose to trust yourself. So I chose to trust myself and allowed the path to unfold however it wanted to and needed to unfold for me. And so many things happened. Like, I'm gonna spare you the details for now, but I had so many synchronicities and signs. And if I went on YouTube just to scroll, I saw an ad that said Miami, and I was like, oh wow, I am really going. And Also, looking for the apartment, I had this inner knowing. Kundalini activates this inner knowing within you. And if you haven't gone that far in your journey, you have something to look forward to, because that's something I really enjoy about Kundalini. Like, you get these intense inner knowings that, okay, this is going to happen and it's going to happen then, and I know exactly how and why. I remember I was looking for an apartment that I had been visualizing for years, seriously, for years. And I kept looking, I was on Airbnb and scrolling and on other apps, and it came from this wanting to control kind of vibe. So, of course, nothing came up, and I kept seeing similar apartments, but they didn't really speak to me and it didn't resonate. And it just put me into this stressful state where I was like, oh, am I ever gonna find that stupid apartment? But along that, I remember having this deep inner knowing that as soon as my financial situation with everything regarding the trip would be done, and I would be certain about everything financially, then I knew that the apartment would come up like out of the blue, and it would be so easy, and I would just receive it and there wouldn't even be any questions asked. And of course, that's exactly how everything happens. So the next time you want to ruminate and be fearful that something isn't going to happen, if you have that inner knowing, just trust it, because I'm seeing 333 on the clock right now, so just trust it. Yeah, no, but seriously, inner knowings, that's truly a huge gift on this Kundalini awakening journey, because this whole process of deciding to go to Miami, that was actually the turning point for me, where I began trusting my inner knowing instead of seeking outside validation for my own decisions. So that's when I began trusting myself, taking decisions for me, and yeah, like everything just came to alignment for me like that. And it's actually like, in the beginning it felt so weird, because I just felt like I was just gonna explode, because I had no one to talk to about this whole decision. And I remember just deciding for myself, but it also didn't really feel real because I hadn't told anyone. And I was just, at family dinners, I would sit and my mind was like, tell them, tell them, tell them. And I had this inner feeling that no, because I want to tell them right now, because I want them to hold me back, because I'm afraid, and I don't want to go because I'm scared as heck. And I feel like after this whole transition, I just know now that whatever I do for myself. And when I do something that's aligned for me, I know it's for my highest good. Also, just right now, talking, speaking, being here, I have this, I both have this inner knowing that, of course, someone's going to listen to this. Of course, someone's going to resonate. And of course, this is for you. But I also have that little voice inside saying, maybe you should talk to this person and hear them out and see if they think it's a good idea. And really, it's just that little voice inside doubting everything because it doesn't know the bigger picture right now. But I still have that inner knowing that no matter what happens, this has a purpose. And the previous projects that I had too, they also had a purpose. I used to have a podcast called Goddess Bestie, and I loved that show. But then my awakening came shortly after starting that podcast, and it no longer resonated. But what I learned from having that show was, now I know exactly how to get great sound for this current show, and I know how to record, and I have a program for that now on my computer. So yeah, thank you, past me, for choosing that. So remember to always, if things don't turn out how you thought they would, or how your mind, your ego wanted it to be, just know that there's always a very aligned reason for it, because your whole system is guided towards your highest good. So if something stops resonating out of the blue, know that there's a more aligned version of you on the way. And also, if you are on this Kundalini or just any spiritual path, and you feel like you don't have the support that you desire and need, first and foremost, know that hopefully you can receive some guidance and validation and support for your journey right here. But also know that this is actually not a lack of support. I know that sometimes, for example, being surrounded by family or friends who, like, it's not even lack of support, it's support is not even near that, but also sometimes it's just a disguise. People want the best for you, but they think that they know what the best for you is. And in reality, this is just a guiding light that tries to tell you that you can actually validate yourself much more than another human being could ever possibly do. And yes, while I know that receiving the correct guidance it's priceless, it really is, but it's going to come your way when you're ready to receive just that. And if you're at a place right now where you feel like, gosh, I would really like some support, why is it not here? Know that it's coming. And also know that there's a very good reason behind it. Because before my Miami move and validating it for myself, I really wanted a coach or something, especially to validate that I could go to Miami. But I didn't get that until I was actually sitting here at my desk in Miami. So it took me getting to know myself and my deepest desires and trusting them in order to receive that support. It's not to say that you have to do something to get support, not at all. It's just to tell you that there is a very good reason behind it if you're not receiving external support right now. It's because you're building yourself up to become the exact support that you desire within yourself. What the heck? How am I even saying this right now? I'm actually getting goosebumps because that's literally Kundalini energy speaking through me. So I hope you enjoy this. I also heard something in a podcast that if you're integrating your awakening or your past, that your Kundalini energy actually exudes from within and to the outside world. So you just being here and existing is actually elevating the vibration of the entire world, and especially with the people that are surrounded by you. And sometimes, actually, when I think about it, when I post on social media and I feel like, okay, some people with a bit of a low vibration are following me, and they're, yeah, they just seem maybe a bit judgmental, or maybe I'm actually just judging myself because it's creating a feeling within me, who knows. But right now, as I'm thinking of it, actually, it doesn't really matter if they are low vibrational, because it just means that they have found you in order to elevate themselves. And of course, if they're saying mean things or just hurting you in any kind of way, just block them, because, yeah, fuck that. Well, my dear, and on that note, I think I'm gonna love you and leave you, because I have a part 2 coming out, as I said earlier, and that will be all about my move to Miami, my big dreams, and yeah, just all the nitty-gritties that you may be super excited to hear. So yeah, I really hope that you could take away lots of things from this episode, if anything, just bit tiny parts. So yeah, I am sending you so much love, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode. See you. Mama loves you. Bye bye.